We haven't done an intro like this for a monthly setup before, so I figured we'd give it a go. Hello team, welcome to another monthly bullet journal setup video, this time in the giveaway journal that we gave away in December. Of course, this here is not the giveaway journal because we gave it away, but it looks the same, just not full of color and stuff. The monthly theme for the bullet journal setup we're doing today though was under the sea or underwater, but let's get into it. I'm not gonna lie, I have been hardcore procrastinating actually putting this video together because the idea of having to do a voiceover is literally the least appealing thing that I could think of doing right now. I don't know what it is about voiceovering, but it's really just not my jam. I'm kind of leaning towards not having as many voiceovers in my videos, making them a little bit more chatty, a little bit more real time. I'm undecided though, we will see what happens, but as you can see, we are starting here with the cover page. This one has just got some simple decoration of some underwater plant life, and then we've got the June header along the top of the page. In terms of our underwater plants, to make it a little bit easier for myself, we just have 3 designs. So the one that has the individual small leaves on either side of a curved line, the one that's made of little rectangular segments, with those rectangles being slightly curved to make it look a little more natural, and then the one that's a bit more like a big leafy seaweed. That one's actually quite simple to draw. You just start with an initial squiggly line and then draw another squiggly line that curves from side to side, and then draw another squiggly line that kind of matches this but on the other side of the initial line. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. It's a little bit hard to describe, but I promise you it is actually simpler than it looks, and I think it looks quite visually effective. Like I said though, I was just trying to make this one a fair bit simpler for myself. At the time of setting this one up, I kind of was running out of time to set up the giveaway journal, because in classic Jess form, I started it too late, even though I started it earlier than the previous giveaway journal. I consistently underestimate the amount of time these things take. In terms of timing though, from first touch of the pen to final erasings, this cover page took about 16 minutes, but that doesn't include idea generation time or sketching in time. Which, if you watched my video on sketching out my bullet journal layout for the month coming, sketching can take a really long time. For this one, thankfully it didn't take too long. Probably the most time consuming part was just getting the spacing on our plant doodles to look okay. But sometimes my sketching in can take quite a while, especially if I'm not really too sure what I want to do with the setup. As per every month in the giveaway journal, the pages we're going to be setting up today include the cover page. We'll also have a monthly log in the calendar style, a habit tracker, and a mood tracker. With the cover page done though, it is time to flip on over to that monthly log, and as we said, this one is going to be a calendar style, with each of the calendar boxes being 6 squares across by 6 squares down, or 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Along with our plant life decoration, one of the design elements that I've used to tie all of the pages of this setup together is of course the lettering style. This one's one of my favorite lettering styles. It's kind of like an Aztec-y kind of font. I think that's at least what I searched to find it initially. But I do like that you can use it in multiple different themes. So of course we're using it for an underwater theme today because it kind of reminds me of Atlantis a little bit. If you're doing an Aztec theme, you could of course use it then. The first time I used it was also for an underwater theme, but you could probably also use it for a magic theme as well. What theme ideas can you think of for this lettering style? Just like we had on the cover page, we're decorating the bottom of the calendar with those seaweed designs, so pretty much just alternating through the 3. Because the seaweed looks a little bit plain just by itself, we also have some small circles to represent bubbles. In drawing this one out, I wasn't too sure what I could put in the top right-hand corner of the spread, so I did just leave it open. Then our giveaway winner could use it for something like a task list for the month, or a quote, or if there's anything in particular they want to track going from the start of the month to the end of the month, that would be a good space for something like that. Of course, they could just continue the bubbles up the page and fill the space in that way too. At this stage, I'm not too sure what I want to do for the next giveaway journal. I'm kind of tempted to make it coloured rather than just black and white, though I do kind of like that our giveaway winner can use this kind of like a colouring book, so colour it in if they want to and use the materials they actually have. But when it comes to the video aspect of setting up the giveaway journal, I kind of think it might be a little more enjoyable to watch if it's in color. I don't know, what do you guys think? Actually, something I was totally thinking about doing is something like a 12-hour live stream and setting up a full journal in that 12 hours. It would certainly be outside my comfort zone. A lot of the spreads that I typically do in journals take a little bit of time. So I would have to simplify my style a bit to actually get setting up the whole journal to fit into 12 hours, but I thought it might be kind of a fun challenge, and then we could give away that journal afterwards. It's just something I've been musing with. In terms of the timing for our monthly log though, this one took about 23 minutes from first touch of the pen to final erasings, but now we're flipping on over and heading into the habit tracker. If you were wondering why it is I can give you fairly accurate estimates of how long setting up the pages takes me, it's because I film them, so I can see how long it took because I can see the length of the footage. For the sketching in process, because I don't film that, it is harder to get an estimate on it, and typically when I do my sketching in, I don't actually do it all at once. I'll do it in dribs and drabs. I also won't sketch out one page in full and then move on to the next one. I'll usually do a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe go put in all of my headers and then map out other elements of the page. My natural journaling practice very much tends towards a little bit on many pages all at once, rather than one full page after the other, which is a bit of a challenge point when it comes to filming these setups, because realistically I'd rather just go and do all of the black outlining first, and then add all of the colour, do all of the ruling work together, yada yada yada. But in terms of viewing, I don't think it would be quite as enjoyable. For the habit tracker though, we are again going with the mini calendar layout for this one, and to draw in those mini calendars I'm not using a ruler because that would take a ridiculous amount of time, and as we said, I was running out of that at this point. And so to make any wobbly lines slightly less noticeable, I used a light grey Tombow to fill them in. I actually quite like the aesthetic of a hand-drawn grid, which is kind of weird for me because I am certainly a ruler enthusiast. But I just find that when the grid's small like this, the wobbliness really isn't that noticeable and kind of adds a little bit of character. Plus the time saving is a huge bonus, because ruling all of these lines would have taken forever. To finish off the page, we're just adding in some more of that decoration, so our seaweed at the bottom and a couple of bubbles, and then it is on to the other side of the spread to set up the mood tracker. The mood tracker seems to be kind of a weirdly contested point in some of the bullet journal Facebook groups. Some people don't really see the point of it, or there's often discussion around how do you put down the one mood that you had for the day. I have a few thoughts about this, one being that the mood tracker isn't necessarily going to work for everyone, so, only include it if you think it's going to be valuable to you. Typically when I include it in my journal, it's mainly for decorative purposes more than anything else. I don't really utilize the information that I collect there, but I know that for some people, keeping track of their mood is really important, especially for things like how it's dictated by certain triggers or medications or whatnot. I do also find that when I include a mood tracker, I can look back on my days in the month and have a better memory of what actually happened based on how I filled in my mood tracker. My second thought comes back to that idea of only filling in one mood for the entire day. There's absolutely nothing that says you only have to fill it in with one mood. Previously, if I have had a mixed bag of a day, I've used multiple colours when filling in my mood tracker. So for example, on this one, each of the days is represented by a little bubble, and if you had multiple moods in that day that you wanted to record, you could just fill in the bubble with multiple colours. So if purple meant that you were feeling really content, but yellow meant that you were feeling sad, and towards the end of the day, something happened to make you feel sad, but otherwise you were pretty content, you could just use both colours in that bubble. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But as I said, the mood tracker isn't necessarily for everyone. But if you wanted to do a tracker like this that was a bit more decorative, you don't have to do it for moods at all. Maybe you're tracking one particular habit that you really want to focus on for the month. Or you could use it to track the level of productivity you've had in any given day, with different colours representing how productive you were. You could use it as a water intake tracker, so similar idea again, different colours or patterns to represent different volumes of liquid. In terms of timing though, the habit tracker took about 10.5 minutes, and the mood tracker took about 7.5. Though of course these times only include the penning in that we're doing here, they do not include idea generation time or sketching in. The time taken on the mood tracker was certainly decreased by using my circular stencil. I love this tool. I would have to say it is certainly one of my bullet journaling staples. As always, any of the equipment I have used in today's setup is linked in the description box below if you wanted to check it out. To finish this one off though, I went and numbered each of the bubbles for the different days of the month, and I've left the bottom right hand corner empty so that our giveaway winner can put their key there. Heading into our flip through, and hopefully this has been another good theme idea for you guys. If you were tracking our secret words for this month, our secret word for this video is ideas. And if you were wondering what the secret words are for, at the end of this month we're going to be hosting a giveaway with multiple winners, and for each secret word you've collected you get 5 bonus entries. But more on that giveaway later. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, team, and as always, thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye!